Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It is Halloween time and today we're making this Witch's Brew cold process soap. So if you want to know how I put this guy together, just keep watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. First thing that we have to do is create our pot portion of this soap. What we have going on here is our hard oils and butters. I have a coconut oil and shea butter. Coconut oil will help make that bubble and the shea butter creates that creamy lather. Next, we have to measure out our liquid oils, and we have olive oil, avocado oil, which I love that, and sunflower oil are my favorites. And then we can't forget about the castor oil that also helps boost that bubble. Next, we are measuring our lye and water solution. This is our lye going in, and our water, which is distilled water. Always want to use distilled water, not tap water. We are going to add our lye to water. Always lye to water, never the other way around. And you do want to gear up for safety. You want your gloves, long sleeve, eye protection, and a good respirator. You do not want to inhale any of these fumes. We are going to stir our lye until it's completely dissolved. Once it's completely dissolved, I'm going to go ahead and add it to my hard oils and butters. This is called the heat transfer method, and it's my go-to method when making soap. I'm going to go ahead and stir that all together until my oils and butters have completely melted. Sometimes I do have to get my stick blender and give it a little help with the small pieces. At this point, we want to go ahead and add our liquid oils to our mix. So that's going in there, and then we're going to stick blend that to emulsion. We are going to go ahead and do the traditional black witch's pot. I'm using black oyster from Mad Micah's, and I'm also adding kaolin clay. I use kaolin clay for all of my soaps. It helps with that slip as well as absorbing all the dirt and oils from your skin. I forgot to measure out my fragrance oil beforehand, so that is what I'm going to do right now. I'm using Witch's Brew by Nature's Garden. I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance oil to my batter, and I'm going to stick blend that till emulsion. Once our batter is at a light trace, we are going to go ahead and set it aside and get our mold ready. Yes, this is a Pringles tube bottle. I cut off the end and I left the top as is. I'm going to be using a saran wrap to cover the bottom portion of it, and then the cap will just cap onto that, like so. We are going to line it up with paper, freezer paper, cookie paper, baking paper, whatever you want to call it. As long as it doesn't stick, we're gonna go ahead and line that up, and that's it. Yes, it's clean and sanitized for those of you asking. I'm gonna make sure my batter is at a medium heavy trace before I pour into the mold. I do not want it to leak out of the bottom, so make sure that it's at a medium heavy trace. We are gonna go ahead and pour this into our mold, tapping it ever so slightly in between pours to get rid of any air bubbles. Here it is the next day. Unmolding this is really easy. We just remove the cap and the saran wrap. We give it a little push from the bottom to make it loose, and then we just slide it out. It's really easy. There you go. And you have your little soap log. We are going to cut part of the soap to make the pot shape. I'm going to cut, not in the middle, a little bit off the center to make that pot shape. You want to measure it out and make sure that it fits your loaf mold. By the way, this is a mini batch that I made. The first batch that I made, as you can see here, wasn't big enough, so I had to make a mini batch to come up with the portion that I was missing. So we want to go ahead and measure it out, and once you're happy, you're ready for part 2. We are making another batch of soap. The same hard oils and liquid oils are in this soap. I'm gonna add the Cauldron clay like before. I'm adding my fragrance oil this time before I add all the color, because I know that this fragrance oil performs really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. I'm gonna bring that all to emulsion, and I'm gonna split my batter in 2. I chose the Guilty Grape by Mad Mica. It's a purple color for my base color. And the Mediaco P, it's a lime green color for the portion part of my soap. Once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna set the green aside. I want it to get to a piping consistency. Meanwhile, we are going to add our base color, which is the purple. We're going to add a little bit on the loaf mold. Pro tip, do not add too much. If you add a lot, like I did here, once you add your pot embed and you want to push it into place, the whole thing will just kind of overflow. Like I'm doing here, you'll see I start to panic and I end up taking the whole thing out and scooping some of it out and putting it back in. So don't overflow it, add a little bit at a time and then go from there. And now for the fun part. This portion of the soap, you could decorate it however you like. This is where you could get creative. I chose to pipe it on, but you could do whatever you like with this. I'm not sure what tip I'm using. I have to go ahead and look it up, but this is just a normal piping tip for like flowers. And you could see that I had enough left over for a mini loaf. I'm going to continue to pipe this until I am happy with it. I'm gonna also be adding these cute skulls that I made beforehand. So completely off camera, I'm going to add these little skulls. Off camera, I am measuring where I'm going to make the cuts. So every bar will get a cute little skull, and I wanna make sure that I don't cut the skulls. And this is how the top looks after I'm done placing all the skulls. It is ready for cutting the next day. I did add another row of skulls because I had a few left over and I just added the second row. We are gonna go ahead and make our first cut and see how it goes. And there it is, our witch's pot. While I'm cutting my soap, I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about this fragrance oil that I used. It's actually called Bitches Brew, not Witch's Brew like I said before. It's a dupe from the Yankee Candle Witch's Brew. It has notes of citrus, violet, clove, geranium, patchouli, pine, and vanilla. It is a very earthy type of scent. It's also a very easy fragrance to work with in cold process soap. It doesn't accelerate, so it is really good for making those intricate and beautiful swirls if you wanted to go ahead and use it for that. I hope you guys like this video. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.